saying, complaining about the echo, but is that fine? It's fine. Relax. So, as universe has its way of playing it out, we call it providence, we call it serendipity. So today I am here to express myself, rather express the thought of Swamiji, that certainly doctors and teachers are expressions, representations, symbolic of divinity. Coming to the point of doctors, doctors support, sustain, and rather promote life. Maybe have the mobile phone switched off if you don't mind. Teachers, please. Normally you are used to making rules. Today I will make a rule for you. If you don't mind. So the rule of the day this morning is please put your phones on silent as a courtesy to the other fellow colleague who would like to hear me uninterrupted. So I will give you a 10-second silence before I continue. Great. So, doctors sustain life, support life, and promote health. Teachers give light. And light is primary to life. So on behalf of this entire universe, I thank you all for whatever you've done for at least minimum 2 to 3 decades of experiences, and here I just heard Mrs. Bagni 4 decades plus. And so many people must be here with 4 decades plus of experience and contribution to mankind, humanity. Thank you so much on behalf of mankind. I don't think anybody becomes a teacher by chance. Because to become a teacher, you have to be extremely compassionate. It's like the rays of the sun. When it rises, it doesn't discriminate for spreading its light to the animal kingdom alike, to the flowers alike, to the forests alike, even to the shrubs, even to the thorny trees, even to the roses, even to the fruits, and goes down deepest to the roots. So that is what a teacher is made of. I read something over here which says education in a changing world, it should be tweaked a little bit, and you should write, education changes the world. There is no change progressive or productive or conducive possible void of education. Education is primary to evolution. So, for the mankind's evolution, teachers become fundamentally very, very important. And I hope all of you realize that. So kindly raise your hands and tell me how many teachers who believe that you are fundamentally responsible for the evolution of mankind. Great. Now what happens here? Typically, that you people are delivering a promise for tomorrow. Your community is producing today and sowing the seeds for the heroes, champions, and achievers of tomorrow. Every child in seed form is a leader of tomorrow who is going to contribute to this universe, not just to mankind alone, not just to earth alone, because by the time today's children come or step into tomorrow, we will be in space age. Man will be celebrating wedding anniversaries on the moon. Okay? People will choose to get married in Mars. And certain families will choose to reside at the bottom of the ocean. with the way science is growing in leaps and bounds today, it is unimaginable where mankind will go, but one thing is certain, it will be determined by teachers. And teachers like you. So what is fundamentally important for every teacher to do? This is my take on it. This is my personal take on it. Fundamentally important for every teacher is to self-grow, self-develop, and let it be your self-endeavor to constantly see more horizons ahead so that in your light the others can see better horizons. So if you don't grow constantly, if you don't evolve constantly, if you don't progress constantly, how will you do that new thing every day, that more every day, add more value to this existence every day? There is one more thing about a teacher which I learned in my school, and my teacher always said this to me, that a true guru is the one, a true teacher is the one who allows the student to stand on his shoulder and look beyond. And if you have this sentiment in you of letting your children look beyond what you can see, and you become the expediter and facilitator for the same, that will be the day you would have done service to your profession much better. Let's understand the etymology of the word guru. Guru is the one which dispels darkness. So Guru is the one dispels darkness. Why am I not saying that Guru is the one sheds light or gives light, shares light? Of course, but primarily dispels darkness, the Sanskrit word means that. Because there is so much of ignorance around. People are literally in darkness, even in today's day and age. There is so much of ignorance, and we should take the responsibility to make sure that this ignorance, this darkness completely diminishes, dwindles away, and there should be only light, light and light. Because growth, evolution, blossoming of the mind only happens with light. You know what potentially we are doing, you as teachers, I also teach a lot as a life coach. So what potentially we are doing is we literally are weeding out unnecessary and helping the minds blossom. A teacher fundamentally helps minds blossom and minds open up. And like flowers are our students, our children. They are absolutely innocent. So innocent, absolutely like flowers, like daisies, like roses. And I am so proud in a way that this is the opportunity where I can address, you valuable souls here. I'm so proud to be an Indian. I always thought this world is a global place and let's be global. But there is something special about India. People outside of India in the West maybe have progressed a lot in research and development. But they will probably never be able to touch the innermost recesses of our souls, which are so vibrant, so warm, and full of culture, enriched, rich with culture. Could I have ever imagined that as I would walk through the gates, there would be so many loving souls and so many flowers I would be greeted with? Sir ji, आपका फोन चल रहा है sir. आपका फोन चल रहा है. So, I would have never imagined that. It was touching. It was so heartwarming. It lifted my spirits up. It made me thank the divinity, saying that thank you for making me a part of this, because there's so many students are greeting me with love and flowers and the Indian tradition of doing this tika. I mean, this is so wonderful. Does anybody know what is the significance of the tika? Can any teacher please contribute or participate or interact and volunteer to say what is the significance of the tika here? Very close. Very close. The whole scientific system of putting a tika near the third eye. Now, what is the third eye? We have glands. The pineal gland, right in the cavity of your forehead, is somewhere 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch, depending on the anatomy of the individual specific human being, is placed there, is there. So what happens each time you get your thumb there to touch it and put a tika there, making a circle of infinity, you stimulate your pineal gland and thus you stimulate your wakefulness. Because the pineal gland controls anatomically your sleep-wake cycles. Now clinically, if you were to see, Western science today understands the pineal gland, that with the first ray of the sun, when it hits your eye, then it goes deep inside, activates your pineal gland, and that restarts the functions of our systems. So it activates our hormones, our glands, our digestive processes, our faculties, our nervous system, and you wake up. But it is not as shallow as that. It gives you a wakefulness. It just doesn't open your eyes. It gives you deeper perspectives. It gives you intuition. It gives you foresight. It gives you insight. It gives you extrasensory perceptions. So this is why I'm proud of being an Indian, that this is our rich culture and heritage. Whatever our yogis and Maharishis have said 2000 years back, science is confirming it today. And they can't figure how did we ever do this or say this. So we people as teachers are in a very fortunate motherland, India, Bharat, Hindustan, the sthan of Devis and Devtas, multiple, innumerous. So as many souls evolved or got enlightened, they became Devis and Devtas. So West is bereft of it. Maybe they had a few saints, but not as evolved, not as enlightened, magical, miraculous, divine, expressions of the divine. So the tika of Chandan, especially Chandan, resonates with your limbic brain. The tika of Chandan, and if you do that consciously day in and day out, you literally activate this further. So the Rajas and Maharajas always had this to have a view, to have a foresight, to have a deep understanding of the subject, to administrate better, judiciously, looking beyond the obvious. So, the first thing I'm going to request you teachers to start a system in your school. I've developed a very special child development program. In that program, it's a program of growing tall, but not only in height but in stature as well. So whatever you may be genetically